people, what's going on? Welcome back to United View. Welcome to another Flex's View. And listen, man, let's get straight into this news because there is a hell of a lot to talk about. And to sum up in this Flex's View, there's been some big news in the last hour and throughout the day regarding Viktor Gyökeres and Hugo Ekitike as well. Now, let's start with Hugo Ekitike because according to my good friend, Florian Plettenberg, out there in Germany, he has claimed that Man United have been in contact with Eintracht Frankfurt for Hugo Ekitike. They've gathered all the relevant information and they have now joined the race for the striker's signature alongside Chelsea, alongside Arsenal, and I think alongside Liverpool, should I say, alongside Chelsea and Liverpool. Listen, £100 million is the price tag. Or 100 million euros. 100 million euros is the price tag. I'm going to start by saying there's no way we get Hugo Ekitike at that price. That's the first thing I'm going to say. You can never say anything's impossible in the transfer window, but us spending 100 million euros on Hugo Ekitike, even though we've gathered what we've gathered and spoke to the right people, and now, you know, we're trying to work out if we're going to bid or whatever. He's on the list. You can call it all of that. The interest may be there. We may be talking to the right people. But 100 million. I don't even know if anyone's buying Hugo Ekitike for 100 million. Even if we wanted to, we could not afford 100 million euros. We can't. We can't do it. So for me, I think it's an eye-opener that the conversations are happening. I think it's an eye-opener that we're talking to the relevant people because we're gathering the information, as Florian says. But in terms of bidding at 100 million euros, I think that's a load of nonsense personally. I don't think that's going to happen. And even the price for him in general, I'm not sure Liverpool will bid that. Obviously, you know, they just spent 127 million pounds on Verts or thereabouts. Chelsea, I just don't think people are going to get Hugo Ekitike for that price. Now, he's been a player who's been linked with the Premier League for the last couple of years. I remember when he was linked with Newcastle. I know he's been linked to Liverpool this summer. I want to say I've seen him linked to Arsenal in the past. He's always been heavily tipped to leave the Bundesliga and come to the Premier League. And I think there's a little bit of games going on. You know, I think that Man United also are having problems with Viktor Gyökeres. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But there's problems with the Viktor Gyökeres stuff. There's issues in the camp with Viktor Gyökeres. People are having problems with that camp. There's also problems with the president, and it's getting very messy over there. And I think what we're starting to see is drip feeding of information, people putting stuff out there, agents and whatnot, and player representatives, and maybe clubs, to sort of everyone kind of pitching against each other is how I feel. You know, do Man United put out there through agents or put out there through the club that, oh yeah, you know, Ekitike's on the list. We're not afraid to look to Frankfurt to see if we can do a deal for him because this Gyökeres thing's taking a little longer. Is it that? Because if it is that, then, you know, someone will probably just go and get Victor Osimhen if we could afford 100 million euros for Hugo Ekitike. Or if we can afford 100 million euros, we'd probably just go and pay the price that it is for Viktor Gyökeres. I know he's a lot older. But at the same time, you have to be honest with yourself and say that is a hell of a lot of money. For a young striker. 100 million is more than Sesko and it's more than Gyökeres. He's cost the most out of the lot. It's probably more than Osimhen. Maybe not in wages, but it's definitely in terms of transfer fees. So I don't know, man. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that, you know, we're going to entertain the price mark of 100 million euros. Maybe I think that interest was more so maybe to go to the players' camp, maybe to explore. You know, this is a strikers market and there's strikers that are available. It's not uncommon that, you know, clubs are ringing and checking situations. Clubs are contacting agents and saying, okay, would your player be interested in this? Would he be interested in that? Okay, we haven't gone to Frankfurt yet, or we haven't gone to Lisbon yet, Sporting yet, but we just wanted to speak to you first and sound it out. This is what happens. This is negotiations, man. And there's big strikers available in the market, but 100 million for Hugo Ekitike, for me, I cannot see that happening. The other big news today was the fact that Manchester United are readying a bid of £51 million, I believe, plus I think 8.6 million in add-ons. I can't remember the exact number, but around about that. Arsenal bid apparently was going to go in, or has gone in, at about £51 million, inclusive of everything, which is too low for Sporting to accept. So that's like the sort of opening bid. There's not been any clarification at the time of me recording this or confirmation of an official bid that's gone on, but this is what the big reports are saying and the big outlets are saying out there in Portugal. They're saying that Arsenal are about to have a bid rejected because it's definitely not too much. It's not enough. And Man United are already in a bid that basically consists of more than Arsenal's all-inclusive package of £51 million, including the add-ons. And Man United want to go on a bid 51 million plus the 8.6 something million, which even that is also not enough to get Viktor Gyökeres. But again, neither bid confirmed. Okay, I have to stress that. This is just the news. This is what's been going on. And neither bid has been confirmed. But, you know, it's coming from big sources out there in Portugal. We're going to have to wait and see whether the official bid comes in. I think, you know, you're really looking to Ornsteins and Romanos, if we're being honest. You know, I know Ben Jacobs has been involved in a lot recently. But if we're being real, I know Plettenberg, he kind of comes with exclusives here and there. But the real chiefs, the real dons, yeah, we're looking for an Ornstein, you know, or maybe a Sammy Mockbro or someone, you know, sometimes you get guys at the Mirror or guys at the Telegraph or the Times who sometimes break, or the Daily Mail, who sometimes break a little exclusive. You never know, but we're looking for that siren from Ornstein to be like, you know, Man United have submitted this, or Arsenal have submitted that. That's the only way we're really going to know whether these bids are real, you know. They're coming, they're parliamentary, and they're not stopping. Yeah, that's the only way we are gonna find out, because there's a lot of hearsay right now. And like I said this morning, jokingly, but semi being serious, like we might have to go to war with Arsenal for Viktor Gyökeres. Maybe it's a bit of a bluff for them as well. They're dealing with RB Leipzig, and maybe RB Leipzig are taking long or trying to inflate the price. I've read a few articles that are suggesting that people are, you know, Sesko and his camp potentially could be becoming frustrated with RB Leipzig. Also, you know, Arsenal themselves could be becoming frustrated with RB Leipzig. What I'm basically understanding here, and we all need to understand this. This is a jungle out there. That's what's going on. This is a transfer striker jungle. Yeah, it's dog eat dog out there. Everyone's got their best interest at heart. Players want to get out of clubs. Clubs know that these strikers are sought after. They know how desperate Man United and Arsenal and Chelsea and Liverpool's Premier League money. It don't matter what area of the Premier League you're in. These clubs like Leipzig and Sporting and Eintracht Frankfurt, they see dollar signs, or should I say euro signs. They see, actually no, they see pound signs. You know what I'm saying? They see the Premier League money coming, and they're saying, listen, we want as much as possible for these three players, Ekitike, Gyökeres, Sesko, you know, and it's making it difficult with the negotiations. Nobody really wants to commit. Nobody really wants to commit. It's scaring clubs away, or not scaring them, but it's pricing players out, and it's making it super competitive, and it's a game of poker. You know what I'm saying? It's who blinks first, who's got the better hand, who's going to bluff. All of these types of things is what's going on with these three players. All we can know from this is that, okay, fair play. Plettenberg's broken an exclusive to say Man United are interested in Ekitike as well. That's what come off the bat. But what it shows us is how desperate we are trying to work to get a striker. We really, really are. And if we don't get one, whoever it may be, it might even be one of these three one of these guys we ain't even mentioned out of this three. Whoever it may be, wherever they are, we have to get one, and that shows me at least that we're onto it. So let's wait and see, man. Let's lock in. Let's see what happens. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and we'll keep you bang up to date as this one materializes, man. And well, really, all three spinning plates. Gyökeres, Ekitike now into the race, and of course the Benjamin Sesko. In terms of we're not in for him, but if it collapses with Arsenal, it could mean something different. So we got to keep an eye on everything, man. Latest peeps. I'm out.